Good afternoon, traders. It is Thursday, February 4th, 2016, and the U.S. stock market is closed. I know I'm getting to sound like a broken record, but it was unbelievable today. Absolutely unbelievable. I actually posted a post that I thought this was the worst day we had had in 2 years, and I probably shouldn't have posted that, but at the time I really thought it was the worst day. I get to the end of the day and I'm adding up all the stuff, and hey, it's just a little bump in the road. But I'll tell you what happened. Hey, first of all, I called the Dow up. The Dow did definitely go up. It ended up closing up 80 points here, but it wasn't always up all day, but pretty much positive all day. The problem was we had this big run up early on in the day, and you know what happens with that. We get into we start buying when that happens. Well, what happened today is we got out of the stuff we were carrying in a very spectacular fashion. We closed out $15,000 in positive trades on our exits because of this run-up. That worked very nicely for us. The problem is we got into much more stuff than I would have ever thought we would have gotten into, even with this run-up. We got into 25 positions, and they ended up 9 positive and 16 negative. Yuck. And we're actually holding close to $17,000 negative. Now, that's not the end of the world. I mean, having nearly $17,000 negative open trade, particularly on a day that you closed out positive 15,000, that's certainly not the worst day we've had in 2 years. But I'm going to tell you this, hold your breath. At one point during the day, probably when it was down around here, we were down close to $40,000. I thought it was Armageddon. I thought it was the end of the world. And as I say, all that negativity improved a lot to the point, well, we're only down $16,000 and some change on the close. So hopefully the momentum toward more positive positions here for us will hold for tomorrow, and we'll get out of this fairly unscathed. But when I'm looking at like $35,000, $36,000, $37,000 down earlier this morning, I just thought, it's the end of the world. This is it. I'm wiped out. And, you know, I just got to say something about systems trading. It's crazy. It's insane. There was such a temptation when I'm looking there at nearly $40,000 in losses just to get out of it. Just to stop the pain, stop the bleeding. But, you know, I've had this experience before where I've done that, and then the thing turns around, and I'm telling you, that's the worst feeling of all. There's just nothing worse than that. I was willing to say, hey, I'll take more losses than to violate the system. And frequently, when you're feeling like it just can't get any worse, it will start getting better, and that's what happened today. So we ended up really, you know, just having maybe a discouraging day, yeah, maybe, but we're really, you know, on the balance sheet, we're really not showing much in the way of losses. Okay, that's kind of a windy explanation of what happened today. I'll show you some of the positions. We had some great trades. That's the thing. We had some absolutely fabulous trades today. But I'll show you one of the, it was actually a good trade that was very frustrating. This is 3D Corporation. We had bought this yesterday. It comes into this morning. It just screams. And when it gets up here, it's close to being up $6,000. It is up. It's over $6,000 up here. This is where we normally get out of stuff, okay? But because of this big range expansion here, our system elects to stay in. Yeah, and then it comes down here. It stops us out with profits. We still get out of this with almost $3,000, and then the stupid thing reverses again. We got to get back in, and we are holding a small profit on that re-entry. But that's trading hell, folks. But still, we made a fair amount of money on 3D systems. I'll show you another. Here's just another good trade we had. This is Peabody Energy again. You know, we've had some great trades with this. We got out of this with $3,500 after buying it yesterday. We get out of it with $3,500. It keeps going. We get back in. Looks like a horrible place to get in, but we're actually holding a small profit on that going into tomorrow. So this is our new stock for us, and it's been really hot. Really hot. And finally, I want to show you the big one that was really good today. This is our old friend Sibanye Gold. And we had bought this yesterday midday. It closed profitably, but not really great. Then we get this huge gap up this morning. And with the rest of the markets just going all over the place, Sibanye holds up. We're holding close to $7,000 in Sibanye Gold. So this helped offset all those horrible losses that we are carrying open trade going into tomorrow. So knock on wood, pray a little, and tomorrow we'll see what happens. This is Trader Bob signing off. See you tomorrow on Friday.